Question. Is most of my subscriber base Veruca from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory? Because the results of the election hadn't even been counted and yet a lot of you were clamouring.
Where's the election results video, Daddy? I want it now!
Oh, don't be a bad egg. Patience is a virtue, huh?
I'll call that little midget off attacking you this time, but that's only because I couldn't be prouder of you, as on average, in marginal seats, there was a 5.5% swing against the
Liberals, or as it's known to the net, Liberals.
As original as Smith's chips.
And you know who was responsible for the bulk of that swing? Us. Gen Y. Think about how powerful we are. We did next to nothing to achieve that. All we did was tell a couple of our stoner friends not to vote for...
Oh, there's a crack cocaine party, man. Oi, legalise it. Prime Minister Dragon Scales in the White House.
It's Australia, dickhead. The Prime Minister lives in the lodge.
Yeah, but he'll make it white, 'cause crack? Do you get it, man?
Yes.
Make no mistake, we made Malcolm Turnbull a lame duck Prime Minister. He'll find it very difficult to muster the votes to pass anything. And in the words of the greatest leader England has ever produced, Nigel Farage. It's better to have no deal than a rotten deal. Nigel Farage. And so to reward you for being the most immune generation to the Liberal Party's cheap, meaningless slogans and ridiculous advertising.
I'm gonna show you how you can save megabucks on your internet, phone data, health bills with prices so low they'll make you cheap! It's so cheap! Deals!
Sounds like a slogan you'd hear for a Gosford skate shop on Win. But before I tell you how you can win with Algo, it's crucial for you to understand this. Democracy doesn't end on election day. Because at the risk of sounding like a conspiracy theorist, that's what they want you to think, man. There's a reason Murdoch and his political lapdog spend hundreds of millions of dollars a year brainwashing the public into thinking unions are corrupt. And that's because unions give you exactly what this crusty tortoise fuckhead doesn't want you to have. Lobbyists. Lobbyists that work in your interests instead of Sith Lord and Little Miss Piggies. I mean, without unions, do you honestly think that conservatives, which is just a polite way of describing anyone with that, bruh, this is outrageous, jowls, who even if they made their party president Billy from Saw, even that would give their party a more human face than their current national president? Do you think out of the kindness of their Mr. Burns hearts, they would have given you Medicare, penalty rates, some of the highest living standards on earth, a 9 out of 10 completion rate of year 12, when like a perverse Pokemon master, a Gary if you will, the Liberals block them out? You would need a Hillsong level of faith in the Liberal Party.
As all young Liberals already have. Yay, Guy Sebastian.
To think they would have passed any of those reforms when the coalition even refused to build sewage systems to 3/4 of Brisbane and half of Sydney for decades, until the unions finally twisted their arm in the 70s. And yet I overheard a tradie the other day who was working in the West, where they extended those sewage pipes to. He said,
"Yeah, fucking unions, mate. Everything they touch turns to shit, doesn't it?"
You'd literally be wallowing in your own shit if it wasn't for the union movement. And that's why our generation is in such deep, deep shit now. It is no coincidence that declining wages in the Western world directly coincide with declining union membership. It's no coincidence that we're the least unionized generation in history and also the most attacked, from the coalition thoroughly rigging the housing market against us while also attempting to load us with unrepayable university debts we will die with. While the entire Australian economy has been purposefully geared against us to make our generation the first in our nation's history to be less wealthy than our parents. It's no coincidence. That's just what happens when 8% of you are unionised. I mean, for Christ's sakes, even wildebeest have figured out their strength in numbers. Yet the generation that created Facebook, the Pacific Garbage Patch Cleaner, and of course the Nene, hasn't connected the dots that just like in every episode of Power Rangers ever, when the 5 robots joined together to make the Mega Robot, they never lost an episode in 23 seasons, and that's because only a union can defeat very powerful monsters. Which reminds me,
Activate Algo now!
I failed to see the point of this, Jordan.
That's alright, we don't have to do it.
Algo is essentially a union that deals with essential services like mobile phone data, health coverage, internet, and it's free to join, so why wouldn't you? They work by sending out an email saying, hey, we're about to get a bunch of you together to bargain for a better phone plan, and because they're bargaining on behalf of 5,000 people instead of you just ringing up and asking,
You wouldn't go any lower than that, would you?
You won't? Yeah, no, that's alright. I just thought I'd ask.
You will get a better deal. You know from your own experience the power of collective bargaining from playing Rome Total War Barbarian Invasion. When you saw a teensy little banner army as Emperor, you thought, However, when you saw a Hun horde, you said to yourself exactly what CEOs and magnates today say when they say they're about to have a meeting with a union rep.
Fuck.
Because it was such a huge force and you couldn't fight it off, you had to click.
Let's make a deal, baby.
Moral. Huns are good role models. If you have a full-time job, there is no excuse for you not to join your union right now. It's 10 tax-deductible dollars a week. So would you rather that money going to Malcolm Turnbull so he can spend it in giving billions on handouts to companies that are trying to kill you? Or do you want that exact same $10 going towards kicking Malcolm Turnbull's ass? Especially when union workers on union contracts on average earn $100 a week more than those who aren't. They also have access to way better superannuation plans. I'm talking tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands of dollars more by the time you retire. I mean, if you went to a hedge fund manager and said you're getting those sorts of returns on $10 a week, he'd say,
Yeah, I'm gonna ask you something very unconventional here, Rick. Can you be my hedge fund manager?
well, for everyone watching, whether you're employed or not, it's just plain dumb not to sign up to Algo. It's free, and it gives you the opportunity not to be pushed around by companies that notoriously overcharge and underprovide simply because they can. You can push back by banding together, which sadly in 2016 banding together means
It's done. So, comrades, come rally.
Please press the subscribe button now.
Come on.